Recently, Jalen Carter came out with his own statement, and I'm just gonna be honest with all of you, I don't buy it, I don't believe it. You know why I don't believe it? Because he said one thing in his statement, but the police are saying a different thing. There's a lot of different ways I could start this video, but I'm going to start it out by using one of my favorite sayings. Nick Saban has always said that nothing good happens after 12 a.m. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Nothing good happens after 12 a.m. You can choose to believe that or not, it's up to you, but I tell you this much. It definitely applies to this situation. And also, my favorite quote that applies to this situation is, with great power comes great responsibility. You hate to see stuff like this, but I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm shocked, because I'm not. We see stuff like this happen time after time after time. I don't know what it is. It's just impossible sometimes for these athletes to stay out of trouble. But what makes this one totally different from any other scenario, the guy we're going to talk about in tonight's video, he was a potential #1 pick. He was a star football player for Georgia. His name's Jalen Carter, and I know a lot of casual fans, you're not going to know this guy because he's not some star quarterback or star running back or wide receiver, but he was a monstrous defensive tackle. And for that reason alone, that's why many people thought he had a great shot at going #1. Unfortunately, though, for Mr. Jalen Carter, it looks like #1, that's not going to happen, but #2, he has messed up big time. Early on Wednesday morning, the breaking news came out that there was a warrant out for his arrest. I mean, you want to talk about some bad timing, he was supposed to have meetings today with some of these NFL teams. And most of y'all know this, the NFL draft's coming up soon. This is the last time to make a financial mistake like this. And yes, I'm going to label it as a financial mistake because he lost down on probably around $5 to $6 million. I think it's safe to say that's a lot of money. We're going to talk all about what happened and what is currently unfolding. This is just an unreal topic. All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh yeah, by the way, 2 disclaimers. Forgot to say this in the intro. #1, I'm still recovering from surgery on my mouth, so if I don't sound as energetic or I'm slurring my words, that's why. Disclaimer #2 is, this is unfolding news, and more times than not, we're going to learn out a lot more about the situation in the days to come. So more than likely, this won't be the last time we talk about the situation, so stay tuned for some updates. Now getting that out the way, let's get on to the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you're here. It is the only topic we're going to speak on in today's video, Jalen Carter. Early this morning, you guys were blowing me up, and I really enjoy when you guys send me this information when it happens because it helps me out. For example, one of you said, "Sorry to interrupt your morning, Matt, and I hope your teeth is feeling better to talk, but I saw a post on PFF saying this." And it's basically what's going down with Jalen Carter. And the first thing I want to say about that is, #1, thank you for sending it to me, but #2, never apologize for sending me news. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care if it's 2:30 a.m. If there is news in college football, college basketball, NFL, anything, you send it to me because it helps on the channel tremendously. And I also had a bunch of others tagging it to me and sending it to me on Instagram as well. My immediate reaction when I first saw this, I was like, yep, this isn't a good look. Now, with that being said, the reports came out earlier this morning that Georgia defensive lineman Jalen Carter was present at the scene of a teammate's fatal car crash on January 15th, drove away, and misled police about it afterwards. Carter told police he was a mile away when the crash happened, but later said he was alongside the car when it crashed. Yeah, not a good look. I don't care what your involvement is in the situation, but it just really looks bad when you say, hey, I was a mile away when it happened, and you come back a week later and say, oh yeah, about that, I actually was side by side the car. You see what I'm saying? Immediately you look like a liar and nobody can believe you. And I know he's probably scared and nervous. We've all been there. We've all lied. Come on now, don't act like you've never lied before. But situations like this involving police investigations, you do not need to lie because you're not going to be able to get away with it. You're just simply not. Maybe if it was the 1940s or 50s, you could get away with it, but in 2023, there's cameras everywhere. For example, I remember when I was a kid growing up, one of my favorite hobbies to do with my buddies on a Friday or Saturday night was go ding-dong ditching. I wasn't some vigilante or whatnot, but we like to go ding-dong ditch. But nowadays, I just now thought about this about a week ago, kids can't even ding-dong ditch because everybody's got those cameras at their doors. That's so crazy to think about because back when I was ding-dong ditching, that wasn't even a thing. I say that to say this, cameras are everywhere, you're not going to get away with anything. That is the first part of this, and that's what you need to know, but here's where things really, and I mean really, start to get interesting. Like I said, early on Wednesday morning at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, he was supposed to speak to NFL teams. Or not NFL teams, I don't know why I continue to say that, but he was supposed to speak at the Combine, which really is the same thing because teams are going to watch it. However, that arrest warrant was issued and all this was going on, so he didn't speak with them. And what I'm going to show you next, it is long, and y'all know I don't like to read off long stuff, but it gives you a lot of context to our situation, very important, so check this out. As a result of the ongoing investigation into the January 15th, 2023 fatal crash that occurred in the 900 block of Barnett Shoals Road, the Athens-Clarke County Police Department has secured arrest warrants for Jalen Carter, 21 years old, for reckless driving and racing. Shocking news, right? Because remember, Jalen Carter said, hey, I wasn't there. I was a mile away from the scene. Continuing to go down here, here's what really happened that night. The investigation found that Chandler LaCroix, driver of 2021 Ford Expedition, and Jalen Carter, driver of 2021 Jeep Trackhawk, which by the way is like a $120,000 car, but doesn't matter, continuing along here, were operating their vehicles in a manner consistent with racing shortly after leaving the downtown Athens area at about 2:30 a.m. The evidence demonstrated that both vehicles switched between lanes, drove in the center turn lane, drove in opposite lanes of travel, overtook other motorists, and drove at high rates of speed in an apparent attempt to outdistance each other, which also means racing. And like it says right there, this isn't just racing, but they're going in between cars. They're cutting cars off, going over 100 miles per hour, which, oh, I kind of spoiled that. We'll get to it in just a second. Evidence indicated that shortly before the crash, the Expedition was traveling at about 104 miles per hour. Wow. I'm going to be dead serious with all of you. If any of you out here are surpassing 100 miles per hour, I don't care what this scenario is, you need to reevaluate your life. The only, and I mean the only exception to this, and this is the only way I could say, okay, I might understand this, is if you're on the interstate. And even at that, going 100, there's just no need for it. And I get it, we all want to drive a fast car, but 104? Come on, man. Getting back on track here, starting after the hour and period, the toxicology report indicated that LaCroix's blood alcohol concentration was 0.197 at the time of the crash. Investigators determined that the alcohol impairment, racing, reckless driving, and speed were significant contributing factors to the crash. The case will be given to Solicitor General's office. Hate to see it, you really do. Before we go any farther, I owe someone an apology, and a lot of people owe this guy an apology, and he was trending on Twitter because people were apologizing to him, and that's Todd McShay. I'm sure some of you may not even remember this, but we talked about it a month or two on the channel. Todd McShay, out of nowhere, like I said about a month or two ago, was like, hey, I've heard Jalen Carter, he has some character issues, and everybody was criticizing Todd McShay for saying that. I wasn't really criticizing him. I was more so of saying I don't know what he's talking about because nobody has brought up these quote-unquote character issues. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. That is some insane reporting because he saw this and called it out before everybody else. I did want to throw that in there. Kudos to Todd McShay because he got a lot of heat for saying that. But hey, when you report on news like this and you talk about topics, you do gotta have big enough balls to say stuff like that because a lot of times you will get heat for it and nobody's gonna believe you until it happens. Trust me, I've been there myself. Whoa. Hold on. It doesn't just stop there though, because recently Jalen Carter came out with his own statement, and I'm just gonna be honest with all of you. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. You know why I don't believe it? Because he said one thing in his statement, but the police are saying a different thing. And who am I going to believe more? The guy who has already lied or the police? You see what I'm saying? It's a situation like the boy who cried wolf. Jalen Carter, you've already lied about this situation. Why should I be inclined to believe your side of the story? It's nothing against him. I just call that pattern recognition. It's the same thing with lions and humans. I know what you're sitting there saying, Matt, what the crap you're talking about, but it's the reason that us as humans, we don't have lions as pets and we don't hang around them. Why? Because the first human to ever interact with a lion, he got his face mauled off. And then a second guy was like, I'll give a lion the benefit of the doubt, and the same thing happened and it happened and it happened and continued to happen. So eventually us as humans was like, okay, lions, if you get near them, they're going to maul your face, so we need to stay away from them. Yet again, pattern recognition. You got to recognize the patterns of people and just stuff in this life, but check out this statement. Once again, this is from Jalen Carter. This morning, I received a telephone call from the Athens, Georgia Police Department informing me that 2 misdemeanor warrants have been issued against me for reckless driving and racing. Numerous media reports also have circulated this morning containing inaccurate information concerning the tragic events of January 15, 2023. It is my intention to return to Athens to answer the misdemeanor charges against me and to make certain that the complete inaccurate truth is presented. There's no question in my mind that when all of the facts are known that I will be fully exonerated of any criminal wrongdoing. Here's the part I'm going to highlight for you where I don't buy it. Numerous media reports also have circulated this morning containing inaccurate information. Well, to be honest, all the reports I've seen, and I could be wrong, there's probably some others, but the reports I've seen, they're just reposting what the police have said. And also, I'm going to say this. I don't know who his attorney is or his marketing team that advised him to put this out there, but this is one of the worst things you can do. Am I an attorney or lawyer? No, but I have my own lawyer, and this is just common knowledge and rule number 1. If there's a controversy like this going on about you, surrounding you, The last thing you want to do is go to social media and speak about it. Even if you're trying to clear your name, you don't do it. This is common knowledge and common practice. You don't go on Twitter and try to validate yourself because nobody cares. It's just going to make you look worse. And the greatest example I can use about this is because you know the star Alabama basketball player Brandon Miller, who was investigated for the crime scene that happened recently. Have you noticed how he hasn't said anything about it? He actually deactivated his social media accounts. Why is that? Because going on Twitter trying to tell random people on the internet that you didn't do it, it doesn't matter. To Mr. Jalen Carter, I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I hope all this plays out. Eventually, in the long run, you'll be fine. This isn't something insanely terrible, but it's also not good for you. And I'm going to say this. I don't view Jalen Carter as a bad person. I'm just going to chop this up as he made a bad decision. You can view him as a bad person all you want. I'm not going to. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Reason for that, fairly simple. This is the first time I've heard of anything of him doing something bad. And number two, I've made a ton of mistakes in my life myself, and I will continue to make more mistakes. But here's something I can't excuse. I can't relate, and I can't say, hey, I might have done the same thing. You are 4 to 5 months right after Georgia won the championship. You, Jalen Carter, you're about 4 or 5 months away from being a multi-millionaire, a top 5 NFL draft pick, and you put that in jeopardy. If I was projected to be a top 5 NFL pick, there's no way I'm even going 15 over the speed limit. There's no way I'm hanging out with people after 12 a.m. I don't care. I'm not doing it. You know why? Because I'm the money man. I got money waiting on me. Sure, I'll sacrifice having some fun and staying at home and playing video games and watching movies all night. I don't care. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,